What's up YouTube? It's your boy Tony Cutz and I am back with another haircut tutorial. Today I got my buddy Desmond in the chair and he is a fellow YouTuber, so if you get a chance when you're done watching this video, go check his channel out and throw him a subscribe. If you haven't already, I also would appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and press the notification bell. Every subscribe counts and I super appreciate everyone that's been showing love. We're almost at 200 subscribers I believe and we are growing. So let's get into this haircut. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, why does it look all patchy, uneven? It's because he cut his hair very low, almost bald for a YouTube video. So everything's growing back. Anytime I get anyone in the chair that's getting a low wave brush cut with a 1, I'm using my Babyliss 1 guard, I always brush the hair in the direction the hair's growing. So I'm determining the way the hair's growing and I'm brushing it all down. I'm just brushing the hair and cutting it all in the direction it grows. I've found the growth pattern and I'm just taking my 1 guard and running it all the way through. I've noticed that not all the hair is growing back perfectly even. You can see certain parts on the top and around the ear, it's growing a little bit darker. So when you're cutting someone's hair and you're in this specific situation where his hair is growing back from maybe a shorter haircut, maybe someone messed his hair up and it's just growing back uneven, you need to know that one spot might just be a little darker. It's growing back more dense, like around the ear here, it's more dense. So I flipped my clipper around and I opened it up. So now I got the 1 open and I'm going against the grain, flicking into the top. That lightened around the ear without taking length off through the middle foundation there. As you can see, I spun him around and around the crown here, it's a lot more dense there than around the back of the head and around the sides throughout the foundation and the parietal ridge. So I made sure to run through the top and that crown in them dark areas more than around the light areas. Not that running over the light areas are really going to cause you an issue. The light areas aren't even long enough for the 1 guard to cut. You're just trying to even it all out. You're focusing on the dense spots and blending it into the lighter spots. Flipped around to this side of the head, you can see same thing as the other side. Around the ear and his sideburns are more dense. They're growing more dense than up in the parietal ridge and the foundation of the head. All that is growing a little lighter. Now spun around the back, you can see there's a little bit more dense hair going through the middle of the back of the head. So I'm just blending up into that with the clipper open and then the clipper closed. There's really not much to this. Any hair that's growing to the right or to the left, I'm just going against the grain. I'm gonna flick right against it into that foundation, blending all that smoothly around the sides, into the top, down. When fading lines out, I always tell my students and anyone that I'm teaching, flick with your guard open first, don't flick with it closed first. Flick with it open, brush the hair down every time you flick, close it, and if there's a line that's giving you trouble, always try to graze the hair and flick as lightly as possible. Once all that's done, start your skin line with your trimmers. As always, give it a little arc through the middle so that your lines going around the ear and down to the back of the fade, you want to have some hair there to shape up. So every guideline from the skin to this next half section that I'm starting with my walls open, that section there, it's 1.5 fingers to 2 fingers wide, but it's also got an arc to it. You can see right here I'm fading up a little extra in the middle and then I'm working to both sides because there is an arc. It's not going directly through the back of the head, but you can see them 2 lines per usual. We're going to attack the first line, which is the line separating our fade section going into the foundation, and I've got my half guard on there. You can see this little dark section where my shape up line is in the corner here. All the hair is growing in a certain direction going to the left ear, so I'm gonna flick against it going towards the middle of the head. Once I flick with my half guard open, I'm going to flick with it closed, and then I'm going to take the guard off then if there's anything left and flick up, fading that out. Same thing on this side. All that hair on this side of the fade is growing towards the right ear. So with my half guard on and open, I'm going to flick against it going towards the middle of the head. I'm not flicking straight up. Once I flick with everything open and closed with the half guard, I'm going to get that last line out. As always, my fading technique leaves you with the bottom line to fade and that middle line to fade into your foundation, which goes into the top. So I've used every clip now. I've used my one to level it down. I've flipped it around, open and closed against the grain, going up into the fade. I've used my half guard to lighten that middle line out, and I've faded out the bottom skin line. Only thing left now to do is to lighten up these sideburns with my half guard. I have the half guard on my Babyliss clipper. I've been rotating between Babyliss and Wall using the same guards because they use the same guards. I'm fading these sideburns down with the half going against the grain, and I just flicked up, lightening up them points so it's easier to shape up. Once all that's done, I've done that to the other side. I'm going to then use my mousse, spray a nice even amount of mousse throughout all around the top of the head, and brush that in with the growth pattern. Make sure you're brushing the mousse into the hair evenly. Make sure there's not an excess amount globbed in the middle or in one section. Make sure you're brushing the mousse evenly throughout the hair, and then we're gonna blow dry that mousse dry. After I use my mousse and I've brushed it all down, blow dried it all, I even everything out again, just brushing the one guard down with the grain, and I'm going to spray my Sanex strip with alcohol and wipe down anything that I'm going to shape up. I do these 2 steps before any shape up, but these are the only 2 steps I do. If your client comes in with clean washed hair and clean washed skin, you shouldn't need to do much more than put the mousse in to lay the waves, blow dry that down to make sure it's laying, and just alcohol the lines. Alcohol your shape up lines. The alcohol is going to dry the skin out a little bit extra so that these shape up lines are coming out sharp. I used my Andis cordless T-outliners to do this shape up. I'm running through this shape up relatively quick because I have a lot of different shape up videos you can watch. I really wanted to focus in this video on how I wasn't just cutting the hair to one length and shaping it up with a fade in the back. I was evening everything out. This wasn't just a basic haircut. This was the grow back and making sure that his grow back grows back properly. To sum the whole shape up process up, don't push the hairline back, but don't be scared to make the line. There's a fine line between shaping up naturally and sharp, how I shape up, and not shaping up the hairline enough. So I think all my hairlines come out as sharp and straight as possible, but as naturally as possible. Anyone can put a sharp hairline in there by pushing the hairline back. It takes skill and practice to get these lines to become this sharp with just shaping it up naturally and hitting it with the razor. Now remember guys, I always stress shaping up naturally because nobody likes a pushback. It's not just because my brand is MPB, no pushbacks. I have always cut like this. I respect people's hairlines and I understand that I can get this line straight without pushing it back. You need to go into every cut knowing this. So this is how it should look naturally. Let's add some enhancements. Now when setting up my sprayer, I actually spilled some dye on his floor.
Is that going to sting?
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous when he called me out. But luckily, the enhancements don't stain and I was able to wipe it up with some alcohol and get right back into the cut. On to the enhancements. As always, I'm using Kiss hair dye mixed with some alcohol. You're gonna mix it with the alcohol in a water bottle, put it in your sprayer, and get to work. Take your business card or any type of card you have to create a sharp line. Take the card, place it flush with the skin so that no dye gets under the card and gets on the skin. You want to keep all the ink, all the hair dye in the hair on the hairline. Use the card flush to the skin, spray your hair dye into that hairline. For your corners here where the sidebar meets the C cup, you gotta take 2 cards and place them together to create that shape. I've tried many times just spraying the sidebar, then using the same business card to, spray going into the C cup. Just make it easier on yourself and take 2 business cards and place them together. That will give you the best look. Like right here, I got 2 business cards and I place them together. That will assure you that you get the entire corner there. Now, once all the enhancements are in, I'm using my straight razor to lock them in, create that sharp line, and you can see the difference between the hair and the enhancements and his skin, which is lighter. And you see that white ash line that is between that, it's just to distinguish that sharp line. You never want to leave that chalky ash line there when you're done your haircut. That's just there for a video or a picture max, but in my opinion, you really don't need it, especially if you're using enhancements. Look at how sharp these lines look with the enhancements, and you don't see a crazy deep white chalk line. Around the corners and the C cups and maybe a little bit on his points, you might see a little bit, but right here you see I'm brushing it off. As I'm filming, I'm brushing it off, so you can see there's some ash line there. There is a little bit of an ash line when I do it, but that's mainly for me so that I know I'm keeping my line straight. That's the end of this haircut, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I want to give another huge shout out to Desmond for allowing me to cut him and his son, trusting me, trusting my work, and allowing me to shoot this video. I really appreciate it. Anyone who's watching, hit that subscribe button and then go check out Desmond's page and hit his subscribe button. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.